find any of her other toys not within reach. Okay.
Bud cat or other cat?
Other cat, Piper.
Other cat?
Piper.
Oh.
She's starting to go into heat, so time to take her motherhood away.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. The only time we could get her in was like right before the wedding, and it's like that's gonna be such a pain in the ass. So let's not do that. Just to jump right in. Last time we had all gone together, Tan was joining in to fill in for. And there it goes. It's gone again. You ruined it. Sorry, baby. Tan was filling in for Willie's part, and we are going to kind of finish that scene up and then introduce Tan's character within this episode. Oof. But where we were, it was right after you guys had left the Mitchell Power Company. It had exploded, basically. A giant Noctowl came out from the ground. And then Cole was there, the Whitecoat Cole. And you found out that he has a new sidekick. It was Samantha, your once friend. That really never got fleshed out, Amanda. But
that bitch.
But yeah, I guess we could be upset about that if we want. I'm sorry, baby, it's gone.
I am upset. She's a fucking traitor. Kill her.
Yeah, fucking traitor.
So
how old is she?
Burn her.
She was. Amanda, how old are you? You're 13. Do you remember?
I don't know.
I think you were the youngest, right?
Oh, I'm in the middle. No, maybe I am the youngest.
I think you
There's a very young death penalty in this.
Yeah,
world.
you're 13. Oh, so that's what we're trying to figure out is how are we gonna kill her? Okay.
Capital punishment.
So
burn her at the stake.
So you guys had begun a altercation, and you had managed to take out Cole's
stupid Spoink.
Spoink, yeah, thank you. And so after that happened, he sent out a coughing. I don't know if you'd remember that or not, but he had sent out a coughing. And so I'm gonna try something new because since the last time we played, which was almost a month ago, not anyone else's fault but my own. I've listened to a lot of other D&D podcasts and heard a lot of really cool examples. So I have a fun little activity for us. Cole sends out this coughing, and where you guys are standing is kind of a you're kind of like in a bowl. Where the power company was definitely kind of in a rivet in a valley of the Apcol Mountains, and so you guys are kind of tied up against the mountain wall, and coughing flies up and is kind of close to the mountain wall. He demands coughing to use explosion, and so you see coughing bite his lips, and he kind of grows in size as you can see this power happening inside him. And what I want to do is it's kind of like a split-second action. All three of you are going to have a reaction at the same time, and we'll, depending on what it is, we'll roll to see what happens. But I just want to see what each character and their Pokemon would do in this moment.
Is exploding?
Yes, he's using self-destruct.
At the side of a mountain.
Yes. Right above you.
Well, luckily I'm assuming that if Ghastly so chose, shit could fall right through him, lucky bastard. But
true.
I feel like instinctually I would grab babies and we would duck and cover.
Who all would you try to get? Just Zuzu, or I guess my show's down there too. Zuzu's really your only Pokemon that's out right now.
I would snag Zuzu.
All right, roll a dexterity. Do a dexterity roll for Claire. In fact, do a dexterity saving throw.
Shit, hold on.
You're fine. Take your time.
Dexterity saving throw?
Dexterity. Yes.
We don't usually do these, do we? Because I don't
No.
know how this works.
Okay, so roll a d20. Are you looking at your character? Are you looking at Claire's character sheet?
Yes.
Oh, it's a +0 anyway. So, so just roll a d20.
Good job.
I got an 8.
You lunge forward and like your mind is racing. So you're not quite thinking very. You're trying to think grab, run away, cover. You're thinking all these things at the same time. So what you end up just doing is like lunging over Zuzu and kind of and like covering her up. But that's good. Who else would like to go?
I'll go. I'm gonna make a mad dash lunge with my fungus.
Well, Fungus wasn't out in this battle. It was only Glare.
Oh well, then fuck Blair. He's fine. I'm save my damn self.
Okay.
You selfish bitch.
Roll a
He's a fucking ghost.
roll a dexterity saving throw. I mean,
He'll be fine.
he's still like he can still get hit by things. He's still been hit by things in the past.
I guess so, but like somebody's in imminent danger. It's me. 14.
You definitely dodge out of the way. You managed to get out of the way. Well, nothing's happening, but you managed to start clearing a path. Willie in my show, what would you like to try or do?
Dude, I have no idea.
How about maybe you want to go for Cole?
Yeah, knock him out.
Like, like you're saying like I the person should go for Cole?
Yeah, I think so. You wanna try that?
Kill him.
Yeah. Perfect.
Where is Cole? Is he under this mountain face?
Yeah, Cole's definitely.
Kinda-
Well, actually, let's see.
Suicidal, no? Like,
Are we killing Willie? Is this how Willie dies?
Hold
You're
on.
so young.
I gotta look at his sheet. I want to see how smart Cole might be. Because if Cole's smart,
but if he's stupid.
but if he's stupid, then he's definitely standing right underneath. He's standing right underneath coughing. Can't
Oh,
confirm.
good.
Okay.
There's also
well, I guess I'll try and wait. I don't know. I'm still kind of confused about this situation, but I guess I will go for Cole.
Hey,
I think I'm just gonna because he seems like he's in danger, so I guess I'll knock him out of the way.
ooh, okay. Yeah, roll a d20 and we'll let's see.
Oh yes, that dice thing. 7.
Not good.
I'm gonna say with a 7 on your way to get him. You both kind of like you run into him and just kind of fumble and kind of knock him to the ground. Meanwhile, my show is gonna run up, kind of following your lead, and within this small amount of time, he might he sees you fall into Cole, knock Cole over, and he might grab you after you're already on the ground, trying to pick you up. When this happens, split second, this all happened at the same time. Everyone's doing this at the same time. And just a split second later, coughing explodes, and a chunk of the mountain comes out, cascading down towards you, falling into several boulders. And Samantha, during her little time, Samantha also kind of just duck and covered, and she grabbed Comby with her. She's completely covering Comby. And as the rocks fall, one that had some extra momentum from the explosion hits Glare on the way down.
Yeah.
Glare was
You bitch.
watching Letty trying to get away, And at that, he's kind of surprised, and when he turns around, he sees this mountain, falling on top of him. And
Poor guy.
you all manage to, you're kind of seeing this happen. You heard the explosion, now you're watching the aftermath. And as these rocks fall towards Glare, Glare begins to glow yellow. And bolts of lightning start flowing from his body and starts exploding rocks as they come close. It's like he's got a force field around him. And it blows up all these rocks that are falling on top of you, and then you just kind of get rained with dust and debris. Nothing major happens. No major injuries happen. But when Glare turns back to you, Letty, you see he looks defiant, and he looks empowered. He seems really, really. Something's changing inside
Betrayal
of
made
him.
him stronger.
And yeah, in the top corner it says,
him.
"Glare will remember this."
Oh man, I live for a bit of drama and tension, even if it's my own. So,
the dust falls, and there's a moment of silence. And by this point, Masho is picking Willie up off the ground. Claire and Zuzu are getting off the ground. Samantha is still kind of trembling over Comby, and you can hear the faint buzzing of Comby from underneath, the humming coming from his wing or her.
Should we kick Samantha while she's down?
Alright, it's up to you.
Just kidding. That's not that mean.
if you are.
No, I'm not. I'm lawful neutral, I think.
Whatever.
Well, after a few moments of silence, you start hearing this rhythmic thumping, tapping. It's very, very precise, and it's very, very. It's got this percussive feel to it, and you kind of watch around you, and you're watching at the mountain as you start seeing little blurs coming towards you from the mountain.
What? Can we roll some perception?
Yeah, roll a perception check.
Because I'm scared. Ooh, 18.
Oh my god. 9. What is wrong with me? I'm gonna use my other D20.
Just warming up. Claire, you're still kind of, dazed by everything going on. But Letty, you do happen, as you are connecting eyes with Glare, you see behind him, you see this little Pokemon running down the mountain.
Ew!
It's a Skorupi.
Aww,
little buddy.
so cute.
You see...
Is it though?
You see two...
Yes!
You see 2, and then you see 6, and then you see 12, and before you know it, you see about 50 of these scorpion rushing towards you. Some of the ones that are coming closer, the ones that are getting catching some speed, they start spitting acid down at you.
What?
Oh,
And
great.
as
so
you're
cute.
as you're goggling, as you're ogling these Pokemon, Samantha, Cole, and Comby manage to run away.
Bastards.
Of course they did, the pussies.
Yeah, for real.
And now these Skorupi are just coming towards you.
So about fighting 50 of these little buddies at once.
I don't want to.
I think I'm gonna jet.
I think we probably should.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out.
So you all
We choose to run.
you all look at each other, saying, we're gonna let's get out of here. Everyone roll a Let's roll another perception check real quick.
Oh,
Come on.
5.
3.
Oh, God. What'd you get, Rachel?
5.
Oh, Amanda, what'd you get?
13.
Okay. Among the rumbling and everything, Claire is the only one to manage to hear a small behind her.
What is that? I turn around and inspect.
All right, I'm getting there. Give me a second. You see...
Taking too long. Chop, chop. Oh, I'm sorry, Piper.
She's only sorry to the cat.
Hello!
An army of
my
bugs
God!
is after you, and you see another bug, and you get really excited.
Well, but this
That is
one's
the exact
cooler.
reaction that Claire would have. That's the exact
so
reaction that Claire would have to.
Well, so you react, and I guess everyone kind of turns around and sees this Venomoth that legitimately has just appeared out of thin air. And soon after that, right behind him, a Charizard lands.
Oh.
Superhero landing too, like fists down, wings down, dust pick up. It's a very unique Charizard. This one's actually a black Charizard. And from above you can hear a crow, and when you look above you see
What is going on?
It's a party in my tummy. So yummy.
you see
Fiesta mi stomago.
a very familiar Pokemon.
Oh.
It's Chief Ori's Corviknight.
Oh!
And
Shit! What is he doing here?
as it swipes down the mountain coming towards you, you see it pick up a few Skorupi. Actually, it like puts its claws out front, picks up like 10 of them, and grabs them and kind of throws them into the air before starting to circle you. And the Charizard puts his hand out. He kind of leans his body down and puts his hand out towards you.
Yes. Please help me. And my Pokemon.
So Letty takes Charizard by the hand, and I think you think he's gonna like help you or something. Like I think you kind of take his hand, and he flings you onto his back. And by this
Am I
time,
being abducted?
by this time, Glare is kind of falling down to you.
Piper.
This is
Meanwhile,
some stranger danger shit. I'm scared.
meanwhile, the Venomoth is kind of like, it's blowing its wings towards itself and is like being very inviting to Willie and to Claire.
Guess I have no choice but to go towards the little bug baby.
Get kidnapped with me.
As you walk towards Venomoth, you hear from behind you Willie kind of ooh, as Corviknight swipes down and grabs Willie in one hand and one claw, and Macho in another claw, and begins to fly away above the mountains. And again,
How's this? Do I have Zuzu with me?
well, just wait.
No, you're
Oh, sorry.
terrible.
So Zuzu, you and Zuzu are watching this. The Charizard gives this like crazy boost with its wings and shoots straight up into the air, and you see Letty. I'm guessing you're like holding Glare. As weird as that sounds, but you're kind of
like...
holding Glare. Yeah, like Quaffle style. And
Got him in my pit.
And Claire, as you're watching all this happen, suddenly your vision is kind of shrouded as the wings of the Venomoth are now encasing around you. And you and Zuzu are now kind of like in a tight cocoon that is being made out of this Venomoth's wings. And
Oh.
you hear, it sounds almost... You remember from when you were on the Drampa's back that the sound of the air whooshing by your ears. You're reminded of that, but it's a weird sensation because obviously you're just inside this Venomoth's wings. Through the wings, these moth wings are very, very thin. You see lights flashing all around you. And it's only a mere second before the Venomoth releases its wings out of this cocoon. And you are in split water.
What?
And you're standing in front of the big house. And you hear an onlooker say, there's one of them now. And the Venomoth flies over towards the person who calls you out.
I need the Carfax on this.
Answers.
Claire, as you are kind of like reorienting yourself to like everything that just happened, you look at the stairs of the big house and you see Chief Ori walking towards you, but he's not looking at you. His head is craned, looking straight up into the skies, and yeah. Do you call out to him? Do you say anything?
I would imagine I would. I would be like, "Excuse me, what's going on?" Well, I wouldn't phrase it like that. But I would try to get his attention.
He's
Get a feel for what's going on.
He's not listening to you at all. He doesn't react to you talking at all. And a few seconds later, you hear that crow again, and you see Corviknight come into view, and it dives really, really sharply towards the ground and breaks right above the ground right in front of you, and drops Willie and Macho. Here's fun. Tan, roll a Constitution saving throw.
Jesus, man. Okay. 5.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Willie, I'll say Macho does too at this. Willie and Macho, Corviknight actually places them really, really delicately onto the ground. This is obviously not the first time he's had to do this. And Willie and Macho stand there for a second, and then you see their knees wobble and buckle, and they fall forward, and they just throw up.
Ooh.
Sometime after that, you can hear the whooshing of these powerful wings, and the black Charizard comes snaking through the sky, and once again does a superhero landing, just like it did in the mountains. And drops Letty and Glare. Well, it doesn't drop Letty and Glare. He drops onto the ground and then puts a wing out again to kind of let Letty and Glare get off.
Thank you, sir.
Again, one of the onlookers comes up and is now petting the Charizard, like right on the snout. And Charizard seems to really, really enjoy that. And now that you're all on the ground, Chief Ori is coming at you with a big open hug and like a big smile on his face.
What is going on?
Yeah, that's about.
He grabs all of you and gives this huge bear hug. For a second, you almost think that he has picked you up. And then when you think about it, and you think, well, there's like 6 of us. Well, really 5 of us. We don't really glare. But it's like, did he actually pick us up? You can't really quite connect to it yet. And Chief Ori says, "Oh, brothers and sisters, it's good to see you."
It's good to see you too, but how are we here?
And why did you bring us back?
He points off into the far off in the distance, and he says, "We heard an explosion and we were worried it might have been one of our own, and thank Katet we were correct." so we sent off for help immediately. And
Thank you.
he kind of like points out to the other people around, and he says, we needed strong enough volunteers that were able to fly or use teleport to bring you back. We just wanted to make sure you were safe.
Well,
Did
we
you get
definitely
somebody
weren't.
to get Samantha?
He kind of furrows his brow. Where was Samantha? She didn't follow your party.
That's because she's a traitor.
He
Yeah, she like teamed up with this jerk named Cole.
frowns.
She's a Whitecoat now.
He frowns and kind of nods and says, let us talk in the meeting hall. And you follow him inside, and he sits at the throne where you saw him the day you left. Inside the big house, it's a very different scene. Before it was most of the new recruits or the new initiates who had just gotten their Pokemon, their Achox. Now it is mostly adults running around. There are a few injured people just on the sides of the meeting room that are being tended to by Pokemon and physicians, and it just seems like there's a lot of haste going on. But still, Chief Oriori has a very calm composure, and he sits on his chair. I'm just gonna kind of speed through this, and if you want to say anything, you can. But you tell him everything that's happened. You tell him, it's been about I'd say a week or two since you've left. So you tell him everything that's happened. You tell him about the woman you met in the woods, Seer Jade. She is part of the Maquio tribe. And when you talk about this, he kind of nods and says that she came through the town, and he kind of repeats what she had said. The Maquio is a very powerful tribe. They're very power oriented. Everything with them is all about strength. Strength is their greatest asset, and they I just popped my hand. They built warriors. Their Pokemon, their people were warriors, and their armies, basically every man that was born was a warrior, and a majority of the time, women would be part of the army as well. They were warriors as well. They were all very, very strong, strong-willed people. You also mentioned the Manili tribe, which is I can't remember exactly where you heard about them, but he tells you that they're kind of the opposite of the Maqueo. They're all mental oriented. They obviously, you can just assume this, they deal with a lot of psychic type Pokemon usually. He kind of like laughs and tells you a story that one time he got in trouble with a Manili, and they got into a heated argument, and by the time that they walked away, Chief Oriori thought it was his fault for whatever had happened. They're really good at communicating and talking and convincing. So where the Maqueo are very strength oriented, these people are very intelligence and charisma oriented.
Amanda, are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm not dead. Sorry, continue.
Well, that's good.
So about that time, you tell him about meeting Cole, and you tell him obviously that Samantha is now part of it. He shakes his head and he says, "This is going to be very troublesome. One of our greatest assets, or one of our greatest strengths, is communicating with each other, only knowing the way Apcol people think and know. And if Samantha is part of them now, she might be divulging secrets. Just please be sure, anytime you meet someone, ask them what tribe they're from, ask them for their totem, ask them for a sign. They will, if they are honorable Apcol people, they will show you these things and tell you these things."
Yes, sir.
You tell him about the Chitan, and you tell him about meeting Hona, the chief, and his eyes grow wide, and he says, "I never thought there were any Cheetan left." And he kind of interrupts you for a second. He calls over to two guys just standing on the wall, and he tells them to go to Stone's Crease to send aid or to get any kind of information from Hona about building up their connection. You also tell them about the Achak-Wee, specifically Letty. You remember what oh god, I can't even remember what her name was.
Evanora.
Evanora, yeah. So Evanora, you tell about that, and then Amanda, Claire says that you guys have just been warned time after time to avoid the Achak-Wee. Chief Oriori says, again, it's a good idea to ask about the totems and everything, but he says, I would be sure not to trust anyone when walking through the Blue Woods again.
Noted.
You tell him about the Scolay, the man that you met, Jacob, who was walking through the mountains, and again, he's excited to hear that one of these supposedly extinct tribes is still out and about. And you tell him the riddle that Jacob told you, and he tells you that when he said turn to Scolay, kind of wipes his face and he says, Scolay is believed to live in the mountains, and turning to Scolay is showing your pride and acceptance into these mountains. Cardinally, turn to Scolay means looking towards the west.
Oh.
Ah.
So now you have a little more to break down. In these talks, Willie tells him about the underground layer, where they're digging and mining, and Chief Oriori is just kind of like, okay, it sounds like typical Whitecoat bullshit. Not much to go off of there. But then he shows you the map that you picked up from the Whitecoat within the mountain, and he looks it over and he studies it, and he kind of drags his line up the line with the spikes on it. He draws his finger up it, and he's studying it very deeply. He goes, yes, this must be the Apcol mountain range, which would mean, and he puts a finger over one of the dots. Now, the real map doesn't have any letters on it, but he points at the letter A, and he says, that must be where we picked you up from. And so where the A is, that's actually the Mitchell Power Company. You can deduce. And he points to where letter G is, and he says, that must mean this is Catet. You can also determine that letter D is Stone's Crease, which is where, Hona was. And he drags his finger down to the bottom of the map to where letter H is. I really fucked up that letter, but where letter H is. And he says, and that must be Kingston. And Letty, if you remember, Kingston was one of the
That's
places.
Where
Evanora.
They steal from, right?
Right.
Okay.
That when you said it, it kind of clicked in his head, and he says, "Wait a second, I've heard of that." So now you got some help.
Yes.
And finally, and this is gonna be a fun one. Can't wait to hear this answer. You remember there was a feather that fell out of the sky when the building blew up.
Yeah.
Who grabbed the feather?
It.
Oh, fuck. I don't remember. I don't think
it was me.
Answer is obvious.
I swear to God, I wrote this down. I'm pissed off at myself that I didn't save this shit.
Hold on. I'm sure. Who picked it up?
I think because it was at the very end of that session, I don't think anyone picked it up.
Did we leave it?
Oh my god! Did we
The legendary feather.
No, I'll say Willie has it.
Can we say
Okay.
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Silent hero Willie steps forward and he presents the feather to Chief Oriori, and it's still glowing. It has this kind of like luminescence to it. And Chief Oriori, when he holds it, you can see he's moved. He's sort of emotional about it, and he just takes it. He stands up from the throne, and he walks behind the throne into the room that's behind the throne, and he's just gone for a couple seconds. When he comes back, he has this elaborate, beautiful headdress that you, as members of Katet, recognize as a war bonnet. It's a headpiece for leaders especially, but for warriors going out into battle. And on this headdress, there are feathers that line it all the way down Chief Oriori's back. He's not wearing it, but he's holding it out in front of him. And at the front is a tuft of white feathers. And on either side going down is a rainbow, a collection of feathers. And he holds it out in front of him and shows it to you and says, "This is the totem of Katet.
Oh shit.
Every tribe has an item that speaks to their heart. It's what founded them, and it is what means most to them." And he holds the war bonnet and says, "After Katet met Evie and settled ground at Splitwater, he made this war bonnet as a sign to all the other tribes that our evolution is based off experience and based off of our choices." And he places the war bonnet on his throne, and he pulls out the feather and he slides his finger up it like a blade, and you see the feathers kind of unravel, but they stay together. And he says, "Praise be, this will be the totem of the Wakinya," which I'm spelling out if you need to know it. The Wakinya were power obsessed, like the Makweo, but in a different way. They obsessed the power of the earth. They believed there was a thunderbird that lived in the sky that transmuted power to us. And I believe, and you tell him the story of the power company, he says, "I believe you saw that thunderbird. And this," and he holds the feather, and he says, "this is a true testament to that."
Wow.
He grabs the headdress and he goes back into the back room and he sets his stuff down. And when he comes back out, he sits down and he says, "I'm sorry to have seemed to have stopped progress on your expedition. You were doing so incredibly well. We just had to make sure you were safe." He hands you a whistle. Letty, he hands you a whistle. And it's in the shape of Corviknight. "If you ever need our assistance from a tight spot again, I don't know how soon we can get there. I don't know how accurately we can be. But blow on this whistle and we will know that you are in danger. Danger too far for us to help." And basically the reason I gave you guys the map, the reason that I wanted to, start giving you locations is so that we can have a fast travel system. If you want to travel to places, we can use this as a fast travel and, catch Pokemon if need be or whatever. Obviously, you can't go anywhere that you haven't experienced yet. And you have an infinite amount of times that you can come back to Katet, but when it comes to the other settlements, you can only really blow the whistle, I'd say, 2 times a week.
Okay.
So
Got it.
now you have a fast travel option.
Yay! Thank you.
Cool.
After he does this, he kind of like leans back in his chair, and he says, "There are 2 things I need to tell you before I let you reconvene with your families. 3 things, actually. No, 2 things. 2 things. Actually,
Ow.
he doesn't say that at all. He just says, he sits back in the chair and says, I think what would be best now is that you revisit your families and tell them the great successes you have had." And he smiles, and he goes around and he puts a hand on each of your shoulders and looks you deeply in the eyes and says, "Katet smiles on you. We are proud." And
Oh God!
he sits back down, and he doesn't really say anything, but you definitely could tell it's time to go, because he just sits back down and he kind of just sits there. He's not doing anything. And I'm going to give it to you guys in just a second, but I'm going to say, walking out of the big house, Willie's father is standing there, and Willie turns to you all, and you can tell there's something in his eyes. It's a passion, a burning in his eyes, and he says, I'm gonna have to go for a little bit."
What?
What, Willie? Why?
He just kind of shakes his head and says, I need to go. I need to be with my family. And
Understandable.
he walks off with his dad.
Hey everyone, it's your GM Bailey. Wanted to stop the episode for a couple of seconds and just say thank you for tuning in this week. We really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the episode. I hope you're enjoying our new member Tan. He should be in for a little while now. He's my best friend, and I was really excited to get him on board with this. He seems to be excited as well. Just a couple of things to say. Happy Thanksgiving, firstly. I hope you all are staying safe with your families or without your families. It might be difficult to not travel this year or not be with your families, but of course that is the safest option right now, and I hope you're just following guidelines and whatnot so you can make sure that you're keeping everyone safe, especially your family. That's really the most important thing right now, is keeping your family safe. Now at Thanksgiving and going into Christmas season, holiday season, and cold and flu season on top of that. So let's just try to keep everyone safe. That'd be nice. I hope you're enjoying the shorter episodes. This episode was about 3 hours long. I split it into 2 shorter episodes to make them a little easier to digest. Let me know if you enjoy that. If you don't enjoy that, whatever. You can comment down below, or you can message me on Twitter or Reddit. We do have a new Twitter handle. It's down in the description. It's ILXM Gaming, just like the username here. You can follow us there, or you can subscribe on YouTube so you can follow all of our information, all the things that we're going to be doing. I'm not really good at using Twitter just because I don't use social media as much, but I'm going to try to market this a little bit more. I just want to throw out there that we are not looking for compensation or, any kind of monetary gain from this. This is purely just for fun. We just want to share it with the world. And really more than anything, it's me. I want to share what I've created for other people. And so please share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your dog. We just want to spread the word a little bit. That sounds kind of cultish. I'm sorry. Anyways, we're gonna try to start a regular schedule, putting episodes out on Thursdays and Mondays. Let's see how long that's gonna last, because I'm kind of a procrastinator. And on top of it, we haven't played in 3 weeks, so sometimes time gets kind of funky and we don't have the time to record or to edit. On top of that, we all are either full-time working people or students, so it can be tough. On top of that, we also have a wedding next week. I and the player Claire, not the player, we're getting married. So, and well, actually, everyone in the party's actually going to be in the wedding. It's going to be kind of tough. So we might not be able to keep on top of that getting into next week. But we're going to try, especially with Christmas coming too. That might get in the way. I want to thank Carlos Eni again. I really hope I'm saying that right. I still don't know. I'm still not 100% confident, but I never am. Thanks for the music. It's awesome. Really, really great stuff. Go subscribe to him on YouTube. Follow him on Instagram, Twitter, all those kind of things. And enjoy the rest of the episode. Let me know what you think down below. Subscribe, comment. You can like if you want. I don't really care. It's, again, I just want you guys to enjoy this and share it with your friends. Thanks.
What would you like to do? You're back in town.
I'm gonna go vibe with my aunt.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see my family, my parents.
Oh, this is your starting town?
Yeah, this is the hometown.
Oh wow.
What the-
He flew you all the way back?
Yeah, you.
Well, we're 12. We didn't make it that far.
Oh really? I don't. Yeah, you guys pulled out your maps and I was like, oh.
Sorry, I
don't
didn't mean
know.
to send you that. Hold on. And part of the reason why I want to go back home too is, and now we can add Tan's character into the campaign organically. He's not gonna be some fucking what was the photographer's name?
What?
Jacob or something, Jonathan.
Jeremy.
Wait, no, I know it. I know it. Don't tell me.
Is this a legit character?
It's-
Like
Yes.
that we're talking shit about?
He's from Pokemon
Jacob.
Snap.
Right, it's Jacob.
Is it really?
Oh, I thought you meant in our game.
No, he's not a photographer. Photographs haven't been made yet. Tan, I sent you the map.
Get
I
it
don't know
together,
what I'm
Amanda.
on.
It's
My own life.
his name might be Jesse actually. Not Amanda's. Todd? His name's not Todd.
Lame.
That's bullshit. Hold on.
Todd.
Todd.
It's bullshit. His name is Todd.
Todd.
Dumb fucking Todd.
Fuck Todd.
Yeah, what a stupid name.
That's what I was gonna say.
Todd.
Seems like a big baby bitch.
Oh, his name's
But
not
you started,
Jesse.
Bailey.
What the hell, man?
His name was Todd.
Well, loser.
His name's Todd Snap because he likes to take pictures.
Oh, dude. I met a guy named.
You said snap.
I met a guy today. His name is Franklin Butts.
Oh, that poor guy.
Last
I had a
name
youth
Butts.
pastor growing up with the last name Butts. She kind of looked like one too.
Man, that character kind of looks like you, Bailey.
He kind of does.
A little bit. Curly hair.
It's that undercut. All right, so yeah. So how about Letty? You go back to your aunt's, and she's already out there waiting for you when you leave the big house,
Oh, I love her.
and she's really excited to see you, and so is Hoot Hoot. And on the walk back to the house, you tell her everything that's happened. And then when you get to the house, you realize, and you're like, oh, check this out. And you show her Toad. You show her your Fungus.
Yay!
Thank you.
And
Sound he makes.
does your aunt have a name? Your aunt? Does she have a name?
I don't think she had a name, so we're gonna make a name right now.
Yep.
I just pulled it out of my ass, and it's Jackie.
Jackie. Aunt Jackie.
Aunt Jackie.
Aunt Jackie.
So
She's from Detroit or whatever.
Aunt Jackie gets down close to Toad and is like, oh wow, is this it's a grass type, isn't it?
He is a grass poison.
Fungus.
And she's like, oh,
And he's very cute. And he flaps a lot.
She's like, oh, I see that, and as you're saying, this Toad is flapping happily alongside. And she says, you know, and she kind of turns her head to the back window, and you can tell she's really deep into thought.
Jackie.
Hey, Jackie, snap out of it.
You're not here, Claire. Get out.
Kidding.
She turns to you, and she has a frown on her face, and kind of shakes her head, and she's like, I had a crazy thought. I'm sorry.
What was the crazy thought, Aunt Jackie? I'm all about your crazy shenanigans.
She stands up and she walks over towards the back window, and she says, well, it's easier to look.
I want to look out the window.
You follow Aunt Jackie, and you see her garden, you know, the garden that she works on every year, that she works so hard on. The thing is though, this is the first time you've ever seen this. Everything is dark brown. In fact, some plants are black.
What happened?
She just shakes her head and she just says, there's just been such an awful drought this year. Crops just haven't blossomed like before.
She wants your fungus.
Well, what if my fungus could help?
She her eyes get really big and she goes, no, I don't want to take your Pokemon away from you, honey. You could tell she's kind of stammering.
But Aunt Jackie, your crops.
Your crops.
I really care about your radishes.
She's a radish farmer. She says she gives you a firm smile and she says, you're such a sweetheart. Just hold on 1 second. And she just rushes out the door. She just leaves. In fact, she left Hoo Hoot behind. Like, Hoo Hoot's just like standing there, just like, all right, fuck it. Like, Jackie's on her own shit again.
What's up, Boots?
Meanwhile, you look over at Glare, and since you guys have been back, Glare hasn't really been the same. He's just been kind of quiet.
Man, can we talk? I know shit's been on me. I fucked up.
I know I left you behind when the mountain was literally crumbling.
I did. I acted impulsively, and in my haste, I jumped out of the way.
Glare shakes his head, and you can tell that that's not what's getting at him.
What is it?
Roll
What have I done?
Roll a charisma check.
Animal handling.
What? 7?
Okay.
You know Todd Howard's like 5'3".
Is he?
Yeah, he's super short.
Oh.
Oh, he's 5'6". He's still shorter than me, so I mean.
Wait.
Yeah.
Can you all hear this?
Yes.
Listen carefully.
Oh, I can hear that.
You should get that checked out.
Oh my god, Gabe Newell's only 5'7". They're all shorter than me.
This is the baby. This is your cat purring ASMR.
Like a fucking motorboat. Rachel, did you roll a charisma? I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
missed it.
Well, I should have taken that opportunity to re-roll because it was 7.
You're just kind of like, what's wrong? What's wrong? You're kind of poking at him. And as you're kind of like poking him and like just kind of like waiting, you kind of do this thing with him where it's kind of like those balls, you put the ring on and you throw it and it comes back to your hand. You kind of just do that with him sometimes. And one of the times that you do it, your palm fills up with electric static. And he doesn't hurt you, but it just kind of statics you.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Excuse me.
I can see that I have deeply hurt you.
He shakes his head. He shakes his head no again, and he looks at you, and he's got a very pained look. He seems worried.
How are you all staticky? Shit.
When you say that, he kind of
Probably what he wants to know.
He closes his eyes and he turns away, and you can tell that's what's bothering him.
What have I done to my Pokemon?
You're starting to figure out it's not your fault, whatever it is. Whatever's eating him up is something that has happened.
Well, I do have a guilt complex as a character trait.
He turns back to you, and his eyes are again kind of like furrowed, and he sparks slightly, and kind of gives like this prolonged growl, like a kind of pain growl, actually, just kind of like it's more like you could tell that something's pent up inside of him.
Is this like coming down with the sickness or something? Like, is this something curable? Is he possessed?
A ghost Pokemon possessed.
That's what I'm
Anything
asking.
can happen.
What a plot twist.
He kind of seems like he's angsty a little bit.
I wish Pokemon therapists were a thing. Is there like a tribal Pokemon center that I can take my boy to?
Well, Claire's family is like, they're like very good healers.
Oh yeah, that's right. I want my boy to get the help he deserves, especially after my negligence and ultimately animal abuse.
All right. Well, so you set out for Claire's house. Meanwhile, Claire, your dad, or your mom more so, was actually there at the town hall when you walked up. And so again, you and her walked back to the house. And inside the house, it's kind of even worse mess than what was happening at the big house. There's mats all over the place, and there are both Pokemon and people laying in these mats, and people running around trying to take care of them. And you can hear within all the commotion, you can hear your dad talking to people.
Oh god. I mean, I don't want to like intrude when he's super busy, but
What a selfless mother.
Actually, as you stand there, he looks up and he catches your eye across the room and calls out for you. He says, "Claire!"
oh, I guess I have no choice. Over there.
As you walk over, you see him hunched down with a young man. He's sitting with a young man who's really, really upset. On the mat in front of them is a sand shrew, and the sand shrew has a massive burn going right across its belly.
Oh my goodness. Oh, am I supposed to interact now?
We can, yeah.
Is this from the attack that happened when we left?
That was like over a week ago, so no.
What happened?
your dad says it's just one of the other initiates that went out into the wild looking for the other tribes. And then he kind of gives you a confused look and says, "Have you not met this boy?" And when he says that, you realize you've recognized this guy from around the camp or from around the town before, but you've never really talked to him. You remember him on the Achok night, but you don't really remember anything else. He slaps a hand on the back of this kid who is kind of overwhelmed by his Pokemon being in peril right in front of him. And he gives you a smile and says, "This is Tomas." Tomas.
Hello, Tomas.
Do you say it like that, like a total creeper? Hello, Thomas.
No. Hello, Tomas.
And
I say hello to him.
Tan, this is your cue.
I ask him,
Yeah. Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Tomás.
wait,
Oh,
is
shit.
this you?
Tan is Tomas.
Are you Tomas?
Yes.
That's me, Tomás.
Meet Tomas.
I'm sorry for saying your name like an asshole.
I kind of planned that perfectly.
I guess I just say hello. Hello, Tomas.
Hello.
Hi, person.
Hello, my person. So, what exactly happened to your Sandshrew?
Your dad laughs and says, "This is my daughter, Claire. You have to excuse her rudeness."
Oh shit! Sorry.
You're an
Tan-
asshole.
I'm just trying.
Tan even said, "Hello, person," as in, maybe introduce yourself.
So, like, fuck you, but what about your Sandshrew?
She is the pokey
I'm
nerd,
so-
it makes sense.
I'm so bad at introducing
We all know who
myself in
The
these kind of
PETA
things.
activist
Right.
is in this
Yeah.
group.
I am right to the point. I am so sorry. Excuse me. My name is Claire. I apologize. I was just worried. My name is Claire, and this is my Achok Zuzu, which is a Meryl. What's the name of your Sandshrew that looks like he's dying?
It's Sandshrew.
You can come up with a nickname if you want. I left that to you. I didn't want to just name or do everything.
Yeah, no, I figured that was the case. I just neglected to do so until now.
That's fine. That's fine.
Why'd I recommend Ethan?
I'm as awkward at conversation in an RPG as I am in real life.
Yep.
How about
We're gonna keep it as Sandshrew, though.
for me?
I think I'll keep it as Sandshrew.
Alright, that's fine. How did Sandshrew get burned like this? How did it get burned?
I'm sorry, baby.
Sandshrew and I were roasting marshmallows over an open fire, and I fell.
Lovely.
He fell.
It's very romantic.
Isn't Letty supposed to be clumsy as well? Like, are we just gonna have like 3 characters with 2 left feet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Sandshrew does not have opposable thumbs, so
Life's hard.
it's
when you
very
can't
hard for
grab
him.
shit.
Doesn't, does he?
Very hard for him to grab the
Didn't
stick.
you try just putting the marshmallows on his little fingernails?
Honestly, well, I didn't want his hand to get burned.
I'm sure his nails wouldn't burn. Sure, be fine. Can I roll animal handling on that to see if I...
You know from your just experience with living creatures, that's probably not completely true, but your dad looks down at Zuzu and gets wide-eyed and looks back at you and says, "Claire, Your H-Shock evolved. Good job.
You're kind of
He did. Thank you.
having a moment here. Pokemon's in peril. You know, severely burned.
He, the dad puts his hand on your shoulder and, like, squeezes tight and says, let me just talk to my daughter for a second, and then turns back and says, he says to you, Claire, well, what's the diagnosis?
The Sandshrew?
Put on the spot, buddy.
He roars with laughter and says, of course the Sandshrew, silly.
Oh.
Don't accidentally kill him.
I don't know. I'm not saying that out loud, by the way.
Roll. How about you roll? Let me look at some options.
An animal handling?
No, medicine.
A Medicine. Okay.
She's a special girl.
Ooh, I wrote a good one. +3. That's 21.
Holy shit! Yeah, that was good.
Dr. Claire.
So you lean over and you look at the burns and you see that it's a fairly we're not gonna say that you can get over this kind of stuff. It looks like a pretty okay burn, and you know that you kind of look over at Zuzu, who's kind of overlooking your shoulder, overlooking the situation too, and you can tell that Zuzu's putting something in her head and is like, I think I could help.
Ooh. Looks like Zuzu wants to help. Dad.
Your dad roars with laughter again, and he says, I would think he would want to help. Or, well, yeah, he's going to not do the gender correctly. And he says, he knows how to use Aqua Ring, right?
Let's find out.
Yeah. If you haven't done this before, I'm not entirely sure if I want you to be experimenting with water on my ground Pokemon.
It's okay. It's okay, Tomas. We're all right. We're fine. He
Amanda?
does not know water ring.
Firstly, it's Aqua Ring, and secondly,
Aqua ring.
roll a charisma check.
Why?
Because you're trying to calm down an upset patient.
Oh yeah.
You have terrible bedside manner.
Yeah. Come on, Jack.
I get that from my dad.
Count to 5. Oh my god! You are Jack.
No.
How bad is it?
Hey. Screw you. I got a 21.
What was the original roll?
What the?
20.
You got
Oh,
a nat
shit.
20 on that?
Look at these rolls, man.
I got that 20.
Tan, as you freak out, Claire puts her hand up and says, we're doing everything we can to help. My dad's the best in the town. He knows what he's doing.
Shut the fuck up, Thomas.
Sir, I'm a doctor, and then you flash your degree in his face.
Did she stamp both of her feet on the ground? And
Yes.
then...
And then adjusted the glasses. Well, okay, so Claire, your dad, you tell him that Zuzu doesn't know Aqua Ring, and he looks kind of confused, and he says, any water Pokemon should know how to use Aqua Ring. Come here, little one.
Whoa, high standards.
And Zuzu kind of like uncomfortably walks over to your dad. You see your dad talking to Zuzu, and he's holding his hand out above the Sandshrew, and Zuzu kind of leans forward. She's got those little nubs, and it's like holding in front of her, and he's showing her how to do it, and suddenly around the mat, you see little drops of dew kind of spinning in a circle, just kind of moving around, and they start to collect, and then you see a small circle of water just kind of moving underneath the sand shrew, and the water kind of seeps up onto the burn and is kind of washing over the burn before just kind of falling down by the side, just naturally falling, and the burn's gone. And actually, Sandshrew perks up immediately, and is super happy, super excited. Is it a boy or a girl?
What'd I tell you, Tamus? Told you we would finish.
Tamus?
Boy.
What?
So
What did
yeah,
you
so
just-
Sandshrew, he seems really happy, and when he turns to you, Tan, he jumps right into your arms.
Let's be more careful from now on when we're roasting marshmallows, Thomas.
Tomas.
Tomas.
Thomas?
That's what I said, Thanos.
Amanda, as long as it's okay with you, we're going to be replacing water sport with aqua ring.
Water sport.
Okay.
And aqua ring is a healing move. It allows you to heal others. It will allow you to heal yourself and others during battles. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
That's
Tight.
about that time, Letty comes running in, and I'm assuming you're looking for Claire.
Yes, the doctor, the good doctor.
You see Claire and her dad, and you run over to them, and you're just like, you run over to them. What do you say?
Ayúdame.
Hey, Letty.
Please.
Ayúdame.
I need
Ayúdame, por favor.
I need help. My ghost is electrified.
Claire's dad. Amanda, let's go ahead and make this canon. What's your dad's name?
Humphrey.
Humphrey. Is his middle name Bogart?
His last name's Butts.
Butts.
Humphrey Bogart.
Humphrey Butts.
Humphrey Butts.
Chadwell.
Are you kidding?
Chadwell? That's even better.
Yes.
Chadwell Boswick.
Dr. Chadwell.
So your dad stands up and he pulls out a strange-looking instrument from his pocket. It looks like it's like a metal stick. You have no idea, and he just reaches forward with it, and the electricity from Ghastly is just kind of sitting there calmly, but as he sticks the stick towards him, the electricity kind of pulls towards the stick, and
Oh my god.
and Chadwell just goes, yes, and then puts the stick back in his pocket and turns to Letty and says, he's okay.
Well, then why? Why? This is not an electric type Pokemon. Okay? I want to know why there's so much static coming off of my Pokemon. He shocked me earlier. He looks uncomfortable. We had a moment.
He looks deep into Claire's eyes and he he's scratching his chin. He says, I think this Pokemon has a lot of built up angst. How does he do in battles? Does he get to hit a lot?
Just licks.
He does a lot of licking.
And Chadwell kind of nods. He goes, and what else?
He does a lot of licking and
Iron.
what?
Kidding.
And a lot of hypnotizing. Not so many mean looks.
He nods his head and he says, follow me, and he kind of takes you through the house and into the backyard. And in the backyard, there's still plenty of mats with Pokemon and people alike, and there's kind of like a space cleared out in the middle of the area, and walking from, I use the word walking very loosely.
Okay.
But walking from mat to mat, I guess I could have just done this too, is a Pokemon who appears to be helping. At first, you almost thought this was a statue. And then you realize
This is a chance that I will lose.
that's not a statue. And then you realize, oh, no, it is a statue. And then you realize, no, that thing's moving. And then you say, no, it's not. And that's when you finally realize, no, it's a Slowbro.
Oh my god.
My boy!
And Chadwell stands at kind of the foot of the clearing. He calls to Slowbro, and Slowbro turns around, and he turns to you, Letty, and says, "All right, tell your Pokemon to use Thunderbolt."
Ghastly, Glare, use Thunderbolt.
Um,
If you can.
Glare doesn't hesitate. He cracks a smile. His body again illuminates with this yellow light, and a bolt of lightning bursts out of him straight through Slowbro. And you hear this crack of thunder, and it's almost explosive what's happening. And of course, when the dust falls, Slowbro is completely unmoved. He looks exactly like he does in the picture. Stupid ass wide smile, and it's just kind of like he's dirty and dusty. But through angst and anger, Glare has learned the move Thunderbolt.